So on today's video, we're going to be giving you some tips and tricks to help you spread out the time in between going to the barbershop. Try to save you a little bit of money, get you a couple extra weeks maybe out of your haircut or your beard trim. So welcome guys, my name is Brian. This is my Beards and Banjos YouTube channel where we try to help you grow your best beard possible. Thank you so much for joining me. And you know I'm a big advocate of learning how to trim your beard yourself at home. Done tons of videos on that. We're not really going that far into this video. So even if you don't feel super comfortable trimming your beard or your hair at home, that's fine. These are just basically just kind of giving you a little lineup is what I'm going to be showing you all how to do in just a minute. But there's also a few other things you can consider. So as your hair or your beard gets longer, you may find yourself needing to do a different routine, right? You may need to add some more heat. You may need to add some different products to your hair. You might need to put in some mousse or some gel or some pomade or some clay or something like that to help give you a little bit more on the styling, tame things down, help you with the flyaways, all of that stuff. Maybe putting in heat. Maybe you don't need to, when you first get your hair cut, use a hair dryer or anything like that. But once it starts growing out, you feel that using a hair dryer helps, first of all, dry your hair, but also help you with the styling and the control a little bit more. Also, you might find yourself using different tools. I'm a big fan of the military style brush, just as a finishing touch. Use your hands, all that kind of stuff. So we all know that. I think we can kind of figure out what works best for us, try to stretch that out and get a couple extra weeks. But if you start thinking about it, what gives you the most aggravation? What starts to bother you the most first, as far as going, I really need to go get a haircut. This is starting to bother me. And for me, it's where my hair starts to get around my ears. And, you may have no hair. You may have a totally different haircut than me. Normally, I get this down to a 1 on the sides, which is really short. Obviously, this is not a 1 right now. I'm just about ready for a haircut. But I wanted to try to do this video for you, but also to stretch that out for another week as I'm trying to get some things lined up for vacation and all of that. So one thing you can do is to just work on the lines, all your lines. So if you don't do routine maintenance on your cheek lines, I highly suggest it. In fact, all of these things, if you'll do them every week or two, instead of waiting, 4 weeks and then you're trying to get 6 weeks out of your haircut, then it's going to be a little bit harder sometimes. So you can use your cheek line. I did a video on that. I use like an electric shaver in the morning before I get in the shower. Sometimes I use my little slim twin razor on my cheek lines to keep that nice and crisp, to give you that definition. Everywhere you can get more definition or separation between your beard and your hair and what's going on there with your skin, the more crisp it's going to look. And then the next thing I would say is right around your ears. So in fact, let's take a look at my little video here. I'm going to show you what I do. It's nothing really major. It's not too time consuming. It's not too stressful. You basically just comb your hair, just kind of brush it back a little bit. And then you're just making that same outline that a barber would normally do when you get your hair cut. Now, they're probably using clippers and all of that, but at this point, I don't really want to use clippers on my hair because it's getting a little bit too long, right? If you go in and try to use clippers like you did when you got it cut to start with, it's going to be way too short. So I don't really suggest working in here too much. That's more of a professional level. And I may do some experimenting around that, try to give you a video. But that would come a little bit earlier. That would come like at the 2-week mark instead of waiting. I think it's been 4 weeks since I've had a haircut. So the next thing you can try is to taper this just a little bit. I'm not doing a super big beard trim. I'm just putting the comb in, pulling it out a little bit, and then just taking off a few of those hairs. And that's going to make this area right in here and my ears and my sideburns look a little bit better, a little bit more manageable. I can get a little bit more time out of it because that's what seems to bother me the most. And I'm just using my Brio Axis trimmers. By the way, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and check out my 2,000 subscriber giveaway of a Brio Beardscape version 2. As soon as we hit 2,000 subscribers, we're going to be giving that away. All right, so the next part we're going to talk about is the area between your beard and your hair. Like sometimes this kind of gets a little fuzzy and there's not a lot of definition. So you can do a couple of things. You can use trimmers. And my dog's barking. Sorry about that, guys. So you can use the trimmers here. That's the Brio axis. And just get a little bit of separation there in between the beard and where your hair is in the back, your neckline. It depends on the guy how much growth you have there. I don't have tons, but if I don't do anything to it, there's going to be a little bit of growth in there. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is a little bit more, it could be a little bit more stressful, but, and that is I'm going to take my trimmers here and try to line up my neck a little bit. Now, a couple of things you can do. I don't, if you're one that gets a guard in the back, a lot of times you'll just go to somewhere like Great Clips and they'll either they'll ask you, do you want it square or do you want it round? So it kind of gives you a guideline to go by if you've got that. If you don't have that, and also this is another way to get a little bit more out of your haircut, is to get a low fade. So it fades all the way out. So it actually grows back a little bit more natural, but then you don't really have a line to go by. So what I'm going to do is create a little V taper there on my on the neckline on each side, and then just get the hair that's way low on the back of my neck. And then that's all I'm going to do for now. All right, that should be getting me where I need to go. So let's take a look at that part. So once again, I got the Brio axis. I'll just kind of edge it out, and then I will go back and use like my little slim twin. All right, and just less is more on this. You're just kind of edging into it a little bit. So I'm making just a little V taper, and it's not going to be a perfect line, which is okay. Nobody's really going to be scrutinizing the back of your head too much anyway. And remember, I did not have a line to start with. Mine was just growing out naturally from a low taper. So this is basically just giving a little definition to that, the neckline there on the sides that's in the back. And then I'm just kind of sweeping across because I get those old man wild hairs that grows down. Not exactly back hair, not exactly head hair. It's kind of somewhere in between. You get some stray wild hairs. Anybody ever do that? Maybe I'm the only one. So I'm just cleaning that up. And now I just go back with my little disposable razor, a little slim twin. I'll put links to everything below if you guys are interested in any of that. That's kind of the narrowest blade I could find, which actually helps me a little bit with my cheek line, not making a mistake. I'm going to turn around. There it is. So you can kind of see I've got a little bit of more definition, a little bit lined out. But when I go back to the stylist the next time, I'm going to have to do a complete fade out anyway. All right, going along with the line, sometimes that line on the bottom of your mustache starts to get in your mouth, starts to get aggravating. So yeah, if you've got it along the lip line, you could just take the trimmer and go along with that. Since I've got kind of the big styled out mustache, I'm just using the scissors on the very bottom, putting a little V taper in the middle, not doing a full beard trim. I'm not taking bulk out or anything like that, but the mustache can be one of the things that starts aggravating you most. And stay tuned. After I get my haircut, I'm going to go back to a shorter beard style. So I'm going to do the big trim. I'm going to get rid of the bigger mustache. So I will have a lip line. Then I could go along and do the little trimmers on that. But in this case, I didn't. And there we go. Just checked everything out. And just a little bit of precision definitions, little line up, defuzzing some areas where hair's not supposed to be, I think. And then also this area in here around your ear and the sideburn area, just a little bit there can really stretch out your beard trim. Let me know, do you guys ever do any of that kind of small maintenance in between your bigger beard trims or your major haircuts going to a barbershop? Let me know what works for you guys. And as always, I appreciate you watching. We'll see you soon. That beard trim's coming up next.